Hi, welcome back to BRMC Healthy Connections. Again, I'm your host, Tobias Pugsley, visiting today with Randy and Michael. And now, Randy, Michael, I want to talk a little bit about pastoral care and First Step and how those two programs are kind of working hand in hand to help some patients over at Baxter Regional.
Absolutely. We've got a wonderful program at BRMC, and it's called First Step. And it's a program for patients who are struggling with alcohol and drug addiction. And sometimes in that process, in that care process, they find themselves admitted into the hospital. And we try to offer spiritual care to those who would like to have it. And I was blessed. I'm going to brag on Michael here. A couple months ago, Michael's wife is an employee. She's a nurse in the BRMC system. And Michael came to me as a pastor in Oregon, Grants Pass, Oregon. They moved here from there, and Michael came into my office and wanted to know what it'd take to get involved in pastoral care programs. So he went through the process and came back to me and went through my program. But where we're blessed is that Michael has been in ministry with people who have found themselves addicted to drugs and alcohol, street ministry and things like that in much larger cities. Matter of fact, even in California, I believe. And so for the patients that find themselves admitted into the hospital, Michael is able to offer a level of care that I and some of my other volunteers don't have that expertise, and he does. And it's been a great ministry to have him on board.
Thank you.
Yeah, Michael, would you like to tell us a little bit about how you help Randy and what some of the things you've seen so far since you've been here? How long have you been here again?
I've been with the hospital about a month.
About a month.
Maybe a little bit shy of that.
And I'm already hearing some great stories about some impacts that you've had over there. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
I'm very fortunate about that. As Randy said, I come from Grants Pass, Oregon, and come from let's just say a broken background. And Lord revealed to me quite some time back of the benefit was coming out of my dark background. And that was preparing me for the ministry that I have today, which he had unfolded to me that was going to be ministering to the brokenhearted of drugs and alcohol. And through that time, I'd been involved with the hospitals in Oregon, also with Celebrate Recovery. And it seems to be that that's where the Lord has put me, of being able to be there for people that are going through the process and let them know that there's life after death, so to speak. So many people that are going through this time, they're trying to fill a hole in their heart and not quite understanding why they're addicted to the substances that they use. And God has really put that on my heart to be able to be there for them, let them know that I understand where they're at, where they're coming from, and try to give them a lot of encouragement that there is a future for them. As it says in Jeremiah 29, it talks about having the hope and future in the Lord and what he has in store for us. And for me, I had found that was not going to be my lifestyle. And the ironic thing is, from my past, I'm an exterminator of 25 years. And I had no idea this is where the Lord would put me. So it's pretty ironic at times to see where the Lord's what path he's going to put you on. But again, I take it from the past and the experience that I've had of that lifestyle. I've been able to put it to a strong ministry of what I'm doing today. And I'm very blessed to be with Randy. I'd called him, as he said, and I was very excited that he was excited. For the fact is, when I arrived here, I knew nobody. All I knew is that the Lord had told us, when I speak of us, my wife and my children, is to pack up and leave a ministry. My wife left a thriving position as an RN in hospice in Oregon, but we felt that drive to pack up and come this direction by many circumstances, but we're starting to understand why God has put us here. And as again, I come here and the ministry opportunities, all I can do is listen to what God is going to tell me of where to go.
Right.
And the Lord had led me right back to my roots, which was the hospital from Oregon. And here I am back with the Baxter County. And it was very encouraging to hear that Randy was very excited about me coming and joining them. That really lifted my morale and lifted my spirit. And it put me back on the path that I believe God has put me.
What a valuable resource for the people in the First Step program and what you bring to the table, to help Randy. It's just it's a blessing to see. So what do you think about the Ozarks so far now that you've been here for a month?
The thing is, I was told the mighty Ozarks, about the altitude of them coming from Oregon. The average 7,000, 8,000 foot peaks that you've got to climb to get from one city to the next at times. But I'll say that it is the beauty is breathtaking. There's no words to describe the awe that I had when I arrived here. I had spent a week on a vacation looking around and was just really in love with the city. It looked very much like the west coast of Oregon. Trees might be a little shorter and mountains be a little bit less of the summit, but it is beautiful. I'm very taken here, and again, looking excited to see what the Lord what He has in store for me.
It sounds like He's got big things headed your way, and already, some of the stories that I've had the privilege of hearing and the impacts that you've had in some of these lives it's been truly amazing.
Tobias, truly it's a God thing. I never looked at it as something that I brought to the table. It was always something that God has used through me to share with others. As I've told them in many times, I said, whatever I'm bringing to you, God is giving to me to give to you, so we're both here at the same time, for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it is a really true blessing when you find yourself addicted to one substance or another. Usually, it's nearly impossible to recover from that without the realization that you've got to have a higher power to help in that process. And regardless of the past that Michael's lived, he can go into those rooms and he can identify, because I've been there, I've done that, and there's a brighter, greater day ahead of you is what he can share with them.
Yep.
And that's all anybody needs. To become healthy and whole, you've got to have hope. And for Michael to be able to go into those rooms, into those particular rooms, and to say to them, there is hope for you. And I'm going to be with you through that process. It's healing. It's very healing to them. And I think it's a true blessing for our hospital to be able to offer that.
I can imagine, them being able to relate to somebody that's been through it all.
It certainly makes a difference.
It shows them that there is some hope and there is some light on the edge.
Yeah. And I believe that people that are going through the process, they're able to identify with people that have been in their shoes. So certainly when they're introducing themselves to somebody that has, I believe they have that discernment. Because again, as Randy touched on, of they feel hopeless, they feel lost, they're scared, not really sure what's in store for them. And I would pray that we would have something to bring to them to get them a firm foundation, to know that they're loved, they're cared about, and certainly being at the Baxter, God has put them there for a reason, and has put us with them for a reason.
Thank you. Well, Michael, welcome to the area.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being on here today. I think this has been extremely great now that people know what kind of services that we offer from a pastoral perspective. If somebody wants to get a hold of First Step, or maybe they're struggling with some kind of addiction, do we have a phone number or some way that they can contact us?
They can just call the hospital. The general number is 508-1000, and they'll share with the dispatch operator what department they need, which is First Step, and that's what it is. It's that first step to recovery, that first step to wholeness. And they can certainly find the First Step program just by calling the hospital. And if anyone would like to volunteer or learn more about the pastoral care program, they can call my number direct, which is 7750 for pastoral care.
Excellent. If you're over walking around the hospital and you see Randy, make sure to say hi.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got all kinds of good things he can share with you.
Yeah.
Got some great stories always, Randy.
I'm a good tour guide. I'd love to take you on a tour of the hospital.
There you go.
May I say?
Yeah.
Before we go, that if anyone is interested in getting a hold of me, certainly to go through the hospital as well, regarding recovery, being able to be a part of a program that certainly that I could certainly be in line with, to contact the hospital, and they can get a hold of me through that,
Absolutely.
that process as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, gentlemen, thank you. And again, I've been Tobias Pugsley. I've been your host today, and you've been on BRMC Healthy Connections, and we'll see everybody next week.